Welcome, everyone.
This O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Championship 2026 update edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by the SGPN app. Get all of our picks and podcasts for free with the SGPN app.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That is a spinning wheel. I am Rod Villagomez. He is Cody Zeeb. And we gave away I don't know why that just happened. If you're watching YouTube, by the way, you just got greeted by a very, what they call the show. I don't even know. I'm all frazzled. Hi, guys. Welcome in. It's the episode of the show. Rowdy might want to take a nap.
We're in full off week mode here, Rod.
Well, okay, so yes, hi, welcome in today. We are happy to be here on a Tuesday afternoon to talk about some NASCAR stuff. Obviously, as we said yesterday, no days off, and Rowdy Nation checking in saying afternoon, you beat Marcus to the punch today. Appreciate y'all not taking a vacation on the off week. Maybe you're going to rethink your stance on that one after the way the show started. But yes, we are here, not taking a week off. We've got plenty to talk about. Cody, the odds, like we said yesterday, the odds are the books aren't sleeping, and neither are we. So we're going to continue to put out content. And of course, by the wheel, we have other stuff to take care of as well.
other content. Stay tuned. We're getting there. Here we are. O'Reilly Series futures, best bets, championship updates, right? We'll talk to the chase, where everybody's sitting, what it's looking like. And then we've got a couple of best bets that we're going to take at this point in time as we approach the chase here. I think there's I should probably know this, but I think there's two races left in the regular season. So we're almost there, and we're almost into the chase. And it's coming up for all these series, obviously, but O'Reilly's only got a couple left, and then we'll be into it. So Justin Allgaier has, if this was F1 or IndyCar, the championship would be wrapped up and we'd crown him. And you can bet Alex Palou minus 900 to win the IndyCar championship, Rod. So there you go. But there's plenty to talk about. What could be a really exciting chase in the O'Reilly Series.
Which, by the way, thank you, NASCAR, for not going to that single race format, because this is exactly why we didn't want that. The chase is much better compromise right now.
Yes. We don't need Winston Cup points anymore, Rod. It was great for the time. then it was all right. But now look at what Justin Allgaier's done. I mean, really a bit of a runaway in all three series at this point in time, right? Like, sure, we've seen Denny Hamlin could evaporate that type of lead that he's got because Reddick had it at one point. And Riggs has a pretty solid lead now too. But it just, I mean, Alex Palou, it's July and there's no way he doesn't win the championship. And we've already, well, we've known that since last November. But I mean, it's been that way for quite some time, right? And F1, a little different this year, although Kimmy's got himself a pretty good cushion now as I was looking at those futures this week also. But, it doesn't bring as much excitement. And I think that the Chase was the great compromise, right? Where you get in between, okay, you have to have more than just one race where you really put it together. You have to put together 10 races or 7 races in the Truck Series like we talked about, right? But, I think they really did nail it and went with the correct option.
I concur, and we'll talk about all of that, but I got to remind you first that the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, or the podcast itself, which is the mothership, they're doing their 32 NFL team previews. Plus, you got a chance to win $1,000 NFL future with the phrase that pays. Keep an ear open for that word that they give you in all 32 episodes. It's a different word, obviously. Well, maybe sometimes it's the same word depending on what the phrase is, but you put it all together, you make the phrase that pays, and then you have a chance to win that $1,000 future. So make sure you pay attention and listen for that. And of course, look, it's just good, clean fun, right? Those guys over there having a good old time doing their previews, and we definitely appreciate listening to them. Speaking of appreciate, we appreciate you, our good friend Chris Palmer, saying good afternoon, fellow D-Gens. Good afternoon,
I did
Chris.
notice,
hey, bring your
back. He popped up in my X feed. I did notice that he's a fellow Husker fan. So shout out to Chris. Carrying Husker Nation proudly. Love that. So, shout out, Chris.
Yeah, and bring your channel back too, by the way, Chris. We need more of you.
Yeah, there you go. Glenn Watkins says, Rowdy, Cody, and Rod don't sleep. You can't either. Chris wants to know what we win. We'll tell you in a little bit. And Rowdy Nation wants to know what you're drinking there, Rod. You got an IPA? Rod said it's 5 o'clock somewhere. He's
Father knows
West. Yeah.
West, yeah. That's what it is.
And best, but also West.
Good old Morgan territory.
Perfect,
we were talking about it earlier.
The West Coast IPA theme.
Indeed. And so we were talking about it earlier too, about how the packaging gets you, right? How the can brings you in and keeps you and gets you locked into it. There's something that was taking place over the last, few hours that involves my favorite driver of all time, the King, Carson Hocevar. Let's see what I'm doing here. Where I'm going to agree with him on this one. All right. So this is me agreeing with Carson Hocevar. And okay. It makes me sick. So let me get through it without getting even more sick, Cody. Here's the thing. So, and this kind of ties in, Rowdy, to what you're asking, right? So what's your take on Indy being a crown jewel? So Carson
heavy
was
debate
not
in the Discord today, Rod.
Heavy debate. If you want to weigh in,
I was late to the show because I was busy debating and I didn't realize the time.
This is why you're late. All right, fine.
Sorry.
Well, look, Carson brings up a very good point in that, and maybe again, everybody says, "Oh, nostalgia," but it's not even really nostalgia if you know that the product was markedly better when it was better, right? When you recognize that there was good stuff coming out of it. Now, obviously, things evolve, and the way that we partake in sports and the way that we consume different sports and television in general now is not the same as it used to be. So obviously, you can't put out the exact same product because someone's going to hate that too. But you have to recognize that there is something missing in what's being presented today that wasn't missing back then, right? And I think it's fair to say, I think everybody that's jumping on Carson about that is wrong. And you know me, if I'm defending the guy, there must be something intentionally right with what he's saying, because there is a problem. There are people that are tuning out. There are people that are having a debate on whether or not Indy's a crown jewel because the race was not good. The product was not good on the track. So now we're talking about, is it the track? Is it the car? Is it both? Is it what? Right. And so instead of just enjoying racing, enjoying the things that are happening right now, everybody's dissecting it. Now, granted, Cody, that could be because everybody dissects everything nowadays.
Wow.
But
that's a double-sided coin there, because yes, I do agree with Carson. And I think the good part is that NASCAR's obviously making changes, right? Are you still there, Rod? You're very frozen on the screen. Oh, you're unfrozen now.
I was like, I should be
You were
frozen.
just like this. Anyways, NASCAR is making changes, right? They've continued to tweak packages and do different things, and changing the Atlanta track, making a package for that. All this, we changed the super speedway track. We've worked on tires. We've brought in the wet weather tires. Like they see this. They're listening to the feedback. Clearly, they're listening to fan feedback now more than ever, right? We've gotten back to that, and with Steve O'Donnell in charge now, getting Jim France kind of out of the picture, the old guy that doesn't want to change anything, I think has helped a ton, obviously. So they are addressing things. And I do agree with Carson. We do need to make it more of a show like it once was. On the other hand, people just like to bitch about stuff. And this is my, in general, problem with the Good Race poll every week is you can go out and have a great race like Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. How could anybody possibly vote no on that? This is like Derek Jeter not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is like Bill Belichick not making the Hall of Fame. Like, you got so nitpicky on these little things that you didn't put the greatest head coach in all of football history into the Hall of Fame. Well, okay, and you can argue whether he's the greatest or not, but deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Oh, because over here we just don't like how he did this stuff. Well, aerodynamically we didn't kind of like, shut the fuck up, people. I don't know. I get tired of people's bullshit sometimes with the complaining. Now, that being said, Indy did suck. We're all in agreement there. The racing was horrible. The betting was great, so I still voted yes on the poll for that reason, Rod. But yeah, it is both sides of it, right? We do need to improve it, and I think they're doing it. I think they're doing everything they can to continue to take those steps. But I also think people like to just bitch about stuff just to bitch about stuff. Like, you can go out and well, we want Indy back. Okay, great. I was one of those people, so I'm not really complaining about the fact that we have Indy back. But now, why do we have to race here? Like, well, this is what you guys wanted back, right? So, yeah, I don't know. That's just the way of the world with everything, no matter what the topic is or in what. But it gets annoying.
Yeah, I could show you the most beautiful picture in the world, and I can find 1,000 people that hate it right off of the bat just because they hate everything. So I'm with you on that one. Plus, listen, Bill Belichick should be in the Hall of Fame just from his VHS collection alone. How much videotape that guy has on everything and everybody, right? So we'll put him in the Hall.
You ain't trying, Rod. So that's rule number
one.
Well, rule number 2 right behind: if you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, you ain't first, you're last. But and then Glenn Watkins, hate Moneyball nerds. Cody Zeeb, that is the direct quote.
I mean, I don't like. I don't mind nerding out on something, but when it's like, oh well, there was, we have this great race, and it's like, oh well, the quality of the green flag passes was like, okay, you're a little too far into it. Maybe just enjoy a fucking race and have a beer or something. But G Hurt saying, let's go. Chris Palmer dropping a GBR. I will say, Rod, least excited I've ever been for Husker football, so at least we won't spend a lot of time on the show talking about that this year.
Thank God. Yeah, listen, I'm okay with that. But no, I like football, so we could talk about that all you want. So JDK checking in saying, afternoon, fellas. Afternoon, JDK.
Afternoon, JDK.
All right, so that was
Rod.
That was the debate I wanted to get off of. I just needed, because it's a hot topic right now. You have to talk about it, right? Being a good journalist means you got to cover everything, and plus, I think people wanted to hear me at least once upon a time say, I agreed with Carson Hocevar. So we're done with that.
Yes. Rod loves Carson Hocevar. If you don't get anything else out of the show, that's what you need to know. We do have one piece of news to touch on today, Rod. Front Row Motorsports announced today Chandler Smith will not return to the truck next year, the 38 truck, which is not really that much of a surprise. As Bob Pocker says, his future landing spot has not been announced, but it's expected to be in an O'Reilly car at RCR. Obviously the 2 car is open. Jesse Love will be in the 21 car in the Cup Series. So we already know the 2 is open. Sounds like Austin Hill's not going to be back in the 21 either. Sounding more and more like he's going to be in the 33 Cup car, actually. We'll see. But either way, Chandler Smith likely to get one of those rides. So it sounds like they're finalizing that deal there. And so, yeah, we're that's the news of the day, but not really overly shocking. We kind of all saw this coming. So that's where we're at with that, Rob.
Yeah. And look, honestly, that's not really that bad for Chandler because we knew him going back down was so he could start making noise to make it back up again, a la John Hunter, a la these guys that go back down just to sort of cool their heels a little bit and race, right? And he has been. That's the thing too, right? He has been racing hard. So I'm sure they had the discussion with him. It's like, hey, listen, Chandler, we know what this was. You know what this was. So we'll make room for you to be able to move up and concentrate more on trying to get back up or get up to the cup level.
Yeah. Well, and we saw him have a successful season fairly, right? Last year with Colleague, but they shut that program down. So there was nowhere to go. He was kind of left last minute, like, where's he going to go? And then they got this extra ride at front row. Kind of worked out well for him over there. So good to see him get another opportunity back at the O'Reilly level. Chris Palmer saying Indy is a crown jewel, and JDK pointing out that it's the ring pop of crown jewels. Also, he wants to get caught up, Rod. I'll give him a quick recap. Rod said King Hocevar is his favorite driver. I believe he's getting a tattoo tomorrow, and he just loves Carson Hocevar. That's really all you need to know.
I do. I'm getting an upside down 77, so it just says LL on my arm, and we'll go from there. So,
which is what Rod's takes are about Carson Hocevar. Usually double L's. And Jimmy says hello, folks. Good to see you, Jimmy. Of course, Jimmy, our friend from Greece, Rod, sent me a message the other day. He said he was on the beach and he saw somebody that looked like me. And I told him that I wished I was in Greece, but sadly, I'm in hell. I mean, Nebraska, where it feels like hell with the temperature currently.
Cody is in Greece, cooking grease because that's how
that's what it feels like, wouldn't you? Yeah, but just, butter me up when you walk outside. Good Lord.
Love it. All right. We got business to take care of on the other side of this break, and then we'll start talking about some O'Reilly Auto Parts Series futures. But before we do that, I want to tell you about Circa. The greatest NFL handicapping contest is back. It's better than ever, folks. 30 million in prizes. That's 20 million for Circa Survivor, 6 million for Circa Million, and 4 million for Grand Decimo. You can sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere. Circa Sportsbook now takes Bitcoin. Head to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGPN to get $50 off of your proxy fees. Come out to the Circa for contest weekend, August 27th through the 29th, and you get 15% off of your stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig, I looked this up in the dictionary, and it's absolutely true. It means reduced juice. If you use an odds screen, you know that Novig has some of the best prices in the market. If you don't believe me, I am looking right now at the Golden State Valkyries taking on Phoenix in the WNBA. I think that the Valkyries can cover a 5.5 point spread, and Novig is giving this to me at -120. So Golden State taking on Phoenix in the WNBA. I'm going to take Golden State -5.5 at -20 over there. Download the Novig app. Get 100% purchase match up to $25 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. So, I don't know what it is, but my computer's running a little slow. So anytime I push a button, it takes about 20 seconds for it to just do what I want it to do. So if I sound like I'm behind or if I sound like I'm a little frazzled, it's only because my computer is not cooperating with me, and I'm waiting for it to catch up and for me to be able to do my job. So apologies to everybody listening on the broadcast. Probably like, wow, Rod really must be hitting that IPA hard because it is not sounding good today.
Well, you probably threw them off with all the Carson Hocevar love, Rod, so I think they were
That's
aware.
what it is.
All right, time to take care of some business. We did have our bracket challenge, Rod, for the in-season tournament. Congratulations to Danny V taking down the championship. So, Danny, I know you're over in the Discord. Send me a DM with your email address and whatever else I'll need. I guess I'll DM you. Never mind. Hit me up so I can hit you back up. But, congratulations to Danny V for taking down the in-season challenge. By the way, had Todd Gillen losing in the first round, still won the challenge in a tiebreaker over Big Rod. So, all right.
That was a hell of a tiebreaker, too.
It was the tiebreaker was laps led, and obviously Gilliland did not lead many.
It said one.
Did he lead one?
Said one in the whole thing.
Yeah. So I came in an honorable 24th, Rod. So
13th for me.
Yeah. Well, lucky 13. There you go.
Hell yeah. So now we get to pick the random winners. Cody, how many spins do we have to pick these random winners?
That's right.
2, right?
That's a great question, Rod. We have at least 2. I should probably pull it up. I think we have 3 actually, but let's start with 2.
Okay, let's start with 2. All right, so the spinner winner of this one, what do they get, Cody?
Yes. Okay. So first of all, Danny V gets a $250 gift certificate to the SGPN merch store. A lot of great stuff over there. And then we have got 2 random Race Officials or Terrorists t-shirts. So let's go ahead and spin the first one and give out one of those, Rod.
We're spinning the first one. Tap to spin. Of course, now the computer.
We got to wait our 20 seconds for it to cash.
20 seconds for it to catch up. Look, it's been spinning the whole time, and now it doesn't want to spin.
Well, just give it a moment, see if it's.
This is
going through this though. I just wanted to give some shout outs to some people because so Danny V ends up with 360 points at the top. Big, of course, with the tie, loses on the tiebreaker. Caesar, shout out to him, finishes with 350, as does G Shay 34 and SMG. They all had 350 and finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th respectively. Nixon with 340, WJ Bird with 340 as well. The Nose Knows, make sure you check out his YouTube channel, Rod. 330 over there. The Experts Suck, check out their YouTube channel. We got a lot of other influencers here. Oh, look at that. We get a winner. Slow Roll. Slow Roll is the winner of T-shirt number 1. Go ahead and roll again whenever you get a chance there, Rod.
Okay, and then I'm going to remove Slow Roll.
Yes, remove Slow Roll. We're going to give away another Race Officials or Terrorists T-shirt. Well, it's actually spinning this time, so that's good to see. Dun dun! Oh, Jimmy's in the chat. Oh,
Jimmy's in the chat.
You win. Yes, congratulations, Jimmy. You get a T-shirt as well. So far, all these people are in the Discord. That makes it easy. DM me, please. And then, Rod, we have a NASCAR Gambling Podcast hoodie. So, yeah, let's hit one more time on the spin there, and we will give out a NASCAR Gambling Podcast hoodie to wrap up the winners from the in-season challenge contest. And G Shay 34, you are the winner. I don't know where you're at, so please, G Shay 34, hit me up, or I will look up your email on our entry list, and yeah, we get a NASCAR Gambling Podcast hoodie.
All right, is that all? Is that everything? Can I close this out?
That's it, Rod. You can close it out. Shut it off. Hopefully, it'll help your computer speed up and keep up with the speed of Carson Hocevar these days.
That just makes me so disgusting. So,
thanks again to everybody who entered our contest. We always love running the contest, being able to kick some stuff back to our wonderful, cool listeners. So yeah, if you didn't win this time, you might win next time. You can't win if you don't play. So stay tuned. We always run contests throughout the year, and we'll continue to do so going forward.
We will indeed.
Shout out to the bosses, Rod, Sean, and Ryan, of course, from Sports Gambling Podcast. They are the bosses of the network here, allowing us to do that, putting those prizes up. We greatly appreciate them for letting us do all that.
We do indeed. Yeah, it's always a good hard fun to be able to do that for you guys, and to be able to look. $250 goes a long way in our merch store. I will tell you that much.
There's some cool stuff. I don't know if did you see the new T-shirt, Rod? The I'm drunk but no Romo T-shirt with Tony Romo's face. That's great. Of course, there's the Racing Gambling Podcast stuff over there. Race Officials are terrorists. There's also the Refs are terrorists. All kinds of really cool stuff. And just like going through the store, there's, I mean, whatever you want. Like there's backpacks, there's shorts, there's T-shirts, long sleeve shirts, sweatpants. You know, it's wintertime's right around the corner if you want some sweatpants, whatever it is. All kinds of good stuff. So make sure you check it out. sg.pn/store.
All right, so let's get back to the matter at hand, and that is, of course, discussing the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and going over some of our futures bets that we not only placed before the season, but, of course, at the All-Star break, sort of took another dive into it and updated our picks. And, of course, now that the Chase is almost here, we'll update them one more time since there is no racing to be had anywhere in the world. Literally anywhere in the world, except for maybe, I guess, the short tracks or whatever.
Well, there's like WRC, I think Jimmy was saying he's betting on. So there is some other like random small stuff. So, and hey, great weekend. Go support your local racetracks. There's nothing better than local racing. If you've got a local racetrack within somewhere close to you, get out, go to the racetrack. I know it's been hot across a lot of the country, especially here in the Midwest here lately, but get out and support your local racetracks with no appointment TV this week. It's a good week to go out and support the local stuff. So, O'Reilly Series, Rod. To break down the format for this, of course, we talked yesterday about the Truck Series. Go back and listen to that. That was 7 races, 10 drivers. In the O'Reilly Series, you get 12 drivers, so the top 12 drivers in points will make it into the Chase, of course. And it is a 9-race battle for them, so 7 for the trucks, 9 races for the O'Reilly Series. Starts at Darlington, goes through Homestead, Miami. And then again, the same format where the regular season points leader is reset. So Justin Allgaier has a massive points lead, right? He is up 265 points over Carson Kvapil. Unfortunately for him, when it resets, he's only going to have a 25-point lead. And then it will be 10 points from second to third, and then 5 points for each driver after that. So that's where you reset with the Chase. Again, we don't have the playoff points anymore, the stage points, none of that stuff rolls over. It's simply, essentially Winston Cup points for the regular season. Once you get to the end of the quote-unquote regular season and we begin the Chase, you're reseeded based on where you finished in the regular season portion, and you'll get those assigned points. And then it's 9 races. There's no cuts. We don't lose any drivers in that point. We don't reset, none of that stuff. But every point you earn during each race, so the fastest lap point is a point that could be very critical. Your stage points can be critical. Your race points, of course, you still get those extra points for winning races. That's going to be huge. So all that stuff will play and carry over all 9 races. Best driver over those 9 races will be your 2026 O'Reilly Auto Parts Series champion.
Indeed. Yeah. And it looks like 7 drivers have clinched a Chase spot so far. That goes from Justin Allgaier to Carson Kvapil, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, Corey Day, Brandon Jones, Austin Hill. The last of the 7 drivers. That leaves us 5 spots to fill. That's Sammy Smith, Parker Retzlaff, Sam Mayer, Brent Cruz, and Taylor Gray. On the outside looking in is William Sawalich, Rajah Caruth, Ryan Sieg, but I'm thinking that maybe just
Sawalich and Caruth are kind of your 2 that I think still have a very good shot to get in. So from Gray, really, so Cruz is 6-point lead over Gray. They're 11th and 12th. And then from Gray to Sawalich, you got all these JGR cars all right in there. Is only 7 points, and then it's only 14 more points back to Rajah Caruth. Sieg is quite a ways behind them, and with only 2 races left. Realistically, you've got 5 spots left between Sammy Smith, Parker Retzlaff, Sam Mayer, Brent Cruz, Taylor Gray, William Sawalich, and Rajah Caruth to battle out and round out that field of 12. And shout out to Brent Cruz, by the way. I mean, being in the position he's in, he's still close to the cut line, needs to mind his P's and Q's over the next 2 races. By the way, one of those weeks is Daytona, which is pretty exciting, of course. But he missed, was it 4 or 5 races at the beginning of the season because he wasn't old enough to race yet. And still, looks like he has a pretty good shot at making the Chase here, as long as things don't really fall apart for him over the last 2 races.
I will say that I debated on whether or not to add him to the dock this in this particular time because I was thinking, but then I looked at his odds.
He's still and I was short.
Yeah,
he's really short on the odds. And for a guy that you don't even know if he's going to be in for sure. I mean, he's in, but it's not by a ton of points. And with Daytona being one of the last 2 races, that could certainly go very bad. If you bet him at a very low number and he doesn't make it, and then you have to watch that ticket for 10 weeks while we go through these last 9 races, that part makes it very brutal because he is he's the 3rd favorite. So I just pulled up FanDuel here, tied for the 2nd favorite at 5-1, which is, I mean, again, you could probably make a case to bet it, but also it's very low.
Yep, it is indeed. So speaking of 5-1, we made preseason picks. So if you go back and Cody he actually did his homework and listened through the old episodes, which I don't know how you could listen to my voice.
I didn't do that, Rod. we have graphics and pick sheets. I just went back and looked at those.
Giving you credit, Cody. Take it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, so I did have to. The All-Star one, I couldn't find the doc until later, so I did. What a lot of people do and just fast forward it to the YouTube and screenshotted it.
See, that's why we do this, right? Not just for you guys, but for us too.
Whatever.
But in the preseason, I said that Jesse Love would be back-to-back champion and take that at 5-1. So that was a pretty good price back then. Little did I know that now it's a little bit longer than that. But here's what I don't understand, Cody. So look, Jesse Love actually third in the points right now. He did drop a spot or a few spots because of one spot rather, because Carson Kvapil had a really good day. But still, right, second in the points. I know that he's a mile behind Justin Allgaier, but like you said, when that closes up, and we'll talk about this in a second, that all goes away. So now I'll give you the price later when we start talking through them after this next break. But at 5-1, that was a good price then. But boy, you are getting a better one now, and I absolutely love this one. So that was my preseason pick, was Jesse Love.
Yeah, I got Justin Allgaier plus 350. Boy, don't you wish you had some of that in your pocket now?
Mm-hmm.
Plus 175 range where he's at now. I guess it's not crazy lower, but still much lower. Obviously, the season he's had, you feel good about that. Got some Sam Mayer in the pocket at plus 850. Probably could have waited on that, Rod. And have some Sheldon Creed at 15-1. It's around where he's still at there. So, decent holdings there. And then at the All-Star break, we also gave out some picks. You doubled up on my Justin Allgaier. You took him at 3-1 at the time there. Great call by you, obviously. I added more Sheldon Creed because I love Payne at 14-1. And we got Corey Day at 30-1. Actually, I have Corey Day. I got the paper ticket, Rod.
Got the paper ticket.
Here's the paper ticket for Corey Day. It's hard to see on the screen, but it is, right here. I got it, tacked up to the wall just so I can look at it all year long. It's going to be beautiful when it cashes, but 30-1 on Corey Day. That number, it's still okay, but not what it once was. So hopefully y'all got in on that early. All right. That being said, Rod, we've got 2 races left in the regular season. As we mentioned, it is Iowa Speedway next weekend, a week from this weekend. I will be there, by the way, going to Iowa Speedway with my buddies over at the Front Stretch Podcast, one of the local podcasts here that does local racing, but they also talk NASCAR and stuff. Dan Taylor is a local announcer, does Eagle Raceway mostly, but other tracks around the area. Longtime radio guy. This show started out as a radio show. It's a podcast now. Does a great job over there. And Dirk Houston, former NASCAR official. He was a tech official for a long time in the Truck Series, did a lot of local dirt track stuff and stuff as well. So really good points of view from those guys. Really excited to team up with them, go over to Iowa Speedway. We're going to hit up Knoxville Friday night for the first night of the 360 Nationals, and then be there for the O'Reilly and Cup Series races Saturday and Sunday. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, that's going to be the best place to be. Go to the YouTube channel at NASCAR Gambling Podcast, and shorts is where I'm going to be trying to do as many shorts as possible throughout the whole weekend, getting all the different sights and sounds and whatnot from the weekend. So really looking forward to that. But Iowa Speedway, and then Daytona, the chaos of Daytona to wrap up the regular season. That's going to be pretty exciting.
That's a way to wrap up a regular season, right? Give me all the chaos. I'll look like Elmo just reaching for fire. Give it all to me. I want it. Slow Roll checking in saying, wow, and I thought Gilly and Heim time was the big win. The streak continues even in the off week. Congratulations.
Right. Yeah, Slow Roll on a t-shirt. There you go.
Rowdy Nation has one of those physical tickets as well, and Slow Roll loves physical
tickets. Those are the
ticket.
best. Dude, there's something about paper tickets. Like, the bets you place on your phone are great too, and whatever, they pay the same, but sometimes the physical ticket and just being able to stare at it and feel it in your hands, you love it.
But it's not just that, right? I mean, I could play all the music I want off of my phone. Like every song ever imaginable is available right here on this phone. But I've got a whole stack of records over there that I still throw. In fact, I was listening to some Garth Brooks before we even got going with the show while I was getting show prep and all that other stuff. So like, I love physical copies of stuff. Comic books over there and books. Call me boomer, but I love physical media.
Hell yeah. It's anything in person and being able to touch and feel it, it's better, Rod. So TK got some Corey Day at 41-1. Hell yeah. Great number there. Steven's checking in, Rod. First, I want to say hi to Steven, and then I want to tell Steven to go turn on the Weather Channel because, buddy, if you're under a tornado warning, be listening. But, stay safe, pal. Hopefully, that's, tornado warnings always going to be tough. But he tosses in a go Denny, and he loves Garth Brooks, Rod. So, in case you were wondering.
I got at least three of his albums right now because you can't stream them. See, that's the good thing about Garth Brooks. You can't stream them. You got to own them.
Yeah, is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing, but whatever.
It is. It is because it's a race record. All right, we're done. We're going to talk about some O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. We promise on the other side of the break. Look, it's the off week, man. What do you?
Dude, that's like we have time to just have fun. It's an off week. It's good. Right? I love it.
We're all hanging out together. That's exactly what we're doing today. So, all right, we'll talk some O'Reilly. We promise on the other side of the break. First, let me tell you about our friends over at Underdog. Spreads, money lines, totals, parlays. They're all available on Underdog Fantasy. Plus, Best Ball Mania, the best way to play fantasy football, has $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. And the best part, it is available in a ton of states. Looking right now at you know that I love me some Pro Disc Golf Tour, right? It was actually in my hometown. Didn't get a chance to check it out because of school obligations, but the Pro Disc Golf Tour is out there. And Missy Gannon still killing things. You can get her better than 5.5 tourney position in the next tournament coming up on Thursday. You get that on Underdog. Missy Gannon just killing it. 3rd place in the last event that she was in. 4th, 6th, 5th, 22nd in the President's Cup. Oops, but 4th place before that as well. So 5th or best in 4 of the last 6 that she's been in. So killing things is Missy Gannon. Take her better than 5.5 tourney position in the Ledgestone Open FPO this Thursday. And if you're a brand new customer to Underdog, play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN. We're brought to you by Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade spreads, money lines, totals, futures, and so much more. Kalshi has everything, and they're available in a ton of states. National Rugby League action taking on this weekend as well. How about the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Sydney Roosters? I think an upset is in order here. I think that North Queensland can actually win this game versus Sydney. It's going to be closer than people think. I know that Sydney's pretty much on the up and up, but North Queensland actually beat them the last time they were out. So it can be North Queensland Cowboys over the Sydney Roosters. Plus 139 for the yes. That means a $10 investment is going to bring back $23.97. New Kalshi customers get $10 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, KALSHI. Promo code SGPN.
Don't forget, Rod, over on Kalshi, you can trade the futures for the, for races, but also for the championship, which obviously we're talking about today, for all 3 series. They've got all 3 series over there. I was trying to pull it up much faster than I actually am. They've got MotoGP, all sorts of other stuff on there. But, if you want to take somebody that we talk about today, or even that we don't talk about today, and you think that their odds are going to increase and get better, specifically probably the first guy I'm about to give out, he's a very nice number over there, plus 1462. So I'll just toss that out there if you'd use the sportsbook mode. But if you think he's going to, have more of a shot as it goes on, and his stock price essentially will get better, you buy it now, you could sell it later, cash out, and make money, again, without it even hitting. Similar to cashing out a bet, right? But easier here because you don't always get a cash out offer on a sports book or whatever. But as the stock price fluctuates essentially on Kalshi, you can trade that. So we will be talking more about Kalshi as well on Thursday's episode. Want to just remind people of that and how trading motorsports works and looks like and all that fun stuff.
Because why not give you one more opportunity to have some fun placing wagers on the NASCAR world, and that's exactly what Kalshi's doing for us. So thank God for them. All right, Cody. Well, again,
great option if you're in states like California or Nebraska where options and resources are limited. Gives you something else, and as we always talk about, the more options you have, the better. It's another option, another tool in the arsenal. So, all right, Rod, I'll let you get to it now.
No, you're good.
Wait a minute. But wait, there's more.
I'm waiting. No, I'm glad that we found a workaround for this silly sports betting thing that we have going on in California. So always a good thing. All right. Now we have outrights, or at least championship outrights that we're looking at right now. We're updating our stance on some of these guys, a couple of new names, a couple of retread names, but guys at refresh prices for sure. And Cody, yours is one that I did not get to the dock in time because I would have loved to have had this guy. That I've been high on him all year long. He finally goes out and does what he needs to do, right? And so now we get in the conversation again.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's how I want to approach this one, Rod. I want to read to you the current point standings in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, right? So if the chase started today, this is what things would look like as a reset. It would be Justin Allgaier atop the board, of course, And then next would be Carson Kvapil, 25 points behind Justin Allgaier after the reset, right? That's where he would be. So then let me go over to FanDuel here, and let me read you the odds for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Championship. It's Justin Allgaier, then it's Austin Hill, then it's Brent Cruz, then it's Jesse Love, then it's Corey Day, then it's Taylor Gray, then it's Sheldon Creed, then it's Sam Mayer, then it's Brandon Jones. I didn't know if I got there already because I read so many names, but I haven't. Then it's William Sawalich, not even locked in yet. Then it's Carson Kvapil at 22-1. Are you kidding me, Rod? So if the chase starts today and we're 2 races away from it, right, 25 points is all he'll be behind Justin Allgaier. Now, again, this is going to be similar to the Truck Series where, yes, Lane Riggs should run away with it and win. Justin Allgaier should absolutely run away with it and win. But we've never seen Justin Allgaier have pianos fall out of the sky and have bad luck before, have we? So just saying, right, all the times it should have been his season and he doesn't get it done, we've seen that story a million times with Justin Allgaier in particular. So Carson Kvapil, second place in the points right now, but he's so far down on this list and he's 22-1 to win the championship. He's had to piece together this season. Remember, he makes the championship 4 last year, and then he doesn't even have a full-time ride. Junior Motorsports is like, you're not bringing enough money. Sorry, buddy. Right? And so Dale Jr. himself works very hard to get him into the 91 car for DGM Motorsports. He's second in points, and he's run a handful, like 5 races in the DGM 91 car this year. He's also had to go to a different JRM team because the sponsors wanted somebody else in his car in particular. And so he's had to change teams. But now, the rest of the season, we're going to see him in the 1 with Rodney Childers atop the pit box, his father, a former Craftsman Truck Series champion. Oh, by the way, just got to victory lane for the first time last year after becoming so close. Kids should have all the confidence in the world. Literally racing for his career right now. He does not have a ride in 2026 or 2027 at this point in time, Rod. You hope he returns to JRM, but currently the funding is not there. They need the funding. Hopefully this win. Imagine he goes out and wins the championship. It'd be pretty hard not to find a ride next year if you're the champion, right? He's got everything in the world to race for. He's on a great team. JRM has clearly been the best team this year, right? JGR's had a lot of speed, a lot of inconsistencies. JRM team has been the team. I mean, they've won, 14 of the races this year or something crazy. Some of that's with Cup guys. But nonetheless, I don't know how you don't bet on Carson Kvapil at 22-1 on FanDuel right now when he's second in the points. He's in a JRM car the rest of the year. He's coming off of his first career win. Rodney Childers atop the box. He's going to be in his car in the 1 car the rest of the season. Everything aligns. All the stars align for this. And as Rowdy Nation said, Kvapil, steal of the champ odds. Completely agree with you. This is an absolute must bet at this number. And I think, I don't know if the books just haven't caught up. I mean, I know you've been on the Kvapil train since early last year, really, Rod. And I've been just kind of walking behind. The train wasn't really going that fast. I was just walking behind it. But I'm getting on board now at a number like this. I've seen enough and what he can do. You get that first career win out of the way. How many times have we seen that it just starts ripping them off at this point in time? So, and again, no Cup guys in all these upcoming races. Maybe the next 2, I'm not sure. But after that, you won't have them. So give me Carson Kvapil 22-1 over on FanDuel.
And again, this is something that I've been on that train. I've been on that train for a very long time. Junior Motorsports, obviously, I hold them very close to the vest. I love them. I've loved all their drivers, even if they don't want to be loved, but I have loved them, and I do love the organization as a whole, right? And it's just, to me, Carson Kvapil having to shift around the rides this last year it made me, I was just perplexed. I could not figure out why you would get a guy that was in the championship run last year have to play the game of hopscotch that he had to play all season long. But look, the best people, I don't even know the best drivers, but the best people are able to adapt to whatever situation they're put in. And Carson Kvapil has proven that he's able to adapt. Now, a lot of guys would have buckled. We've seen Rajah Caruth have to play the shell game in cars, and now he's knocking on the door of making the chase as well. So, sometimes you just have to overcome the situation that you're put in, and Carson Kvapil's done that. Love this.
Yeah, well, and that's the big difference, right? Now, Rajah's had to do more outside of the JRM stable, but still not in the chase currently. And Kvapil's second in the points while still shuffling everything. And like you said, that type of adversity, he's clearly not let it just get to his head. He's used it, and maybe even used it to fuel his fire of, okay, you guys don't want to support me, people don't want me, I'm going to show you why you need me, and he's doing just that. So, yeah, I think at the number, it's a steal for Kvapil.
It is indeed. All right, well, returning series champion, Jesse Love. Now, like I told you before, he was at 5-1 when I gave him preseason, and now he is at plus 850 on the score to take home the championship. And a lot like Cody said, look, it's Justin Allgaier and it's Carson Kvapil. Now, Carson Kvapil just passed Jesse Love on his way up to second place, but Jesse Love still only 747 points behind, or 747 points, so not that far behind Carson Kvapil for second place, but will still only be, 30 points now behind Justin Allgaier. So when we reset to the Chase format, that's not a whole lot of points to make up if you're Jesse Love. And, Jesse Love, say what you will, he's had a very disappointing backup to his championship season, only an 11.3 average finish this year, 13 top 10, 7 top 5s, and no wins, surprisingly, on the year. That's the part that really makes you shake your head, in that he hasn't won a race yet. Well, now you got to buckle down. Now you got to figure out how to make this happen, because you're running out of races to try to really get back on the right track. But if you're Jesse Love, all you got to do is think back to the season last year when, he was kind of, it wasn't like a long shot for him to win the championship, but he was Mr. Consistent. And then it kind of felt like down toward the end of the season, obviously Connor Zilisch was going to run the hell away with everything. There was no chance for anybody else to get it done. And then Jesse Love comes through when you need it and wins in Phoenix and ends up taking home the entire championship run. But, you look at what you're talking about before, Cody, where we're going to Iowa next. He finished second there last year. Daytona, a 4th place finish in the fall of last year. And Daytona earlier in the year, a 9th place finish there. Look, if he can put together 2 solid races there, then he can go into the Chase with some momentum, because then you look at last year, what he did down the backstretch in some of these races, right? He had a 6th place run at Vegas in the fall, 10th at Talladega, a 7th at Kansas, 5th at Gateway, 10th at Portland. Like, all down the stretch run in the playoff format for Jesse Love was really solid for him. So, there was a couple of races that were outside, but, that didn't that cost him more last year than it's going to cost him this year, right? 37th at Pocono in the fall, 26th in Atlanta in the fall. So if he can put together a good solid run, Cody, it's tough, because you expected more. He expected more out of this season. And we say that, and he's still sitting 3rd in the points overall, plus 850 for the guy sitting in 3rd at the points. Really, Score? That's a nice juicy number to hang.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Just doesn't have the raw speed of JRM to JGR cars, but puts himself in position. We saw him do it last year, right? And he put himself in position to go into that last race and be the best finisher. Now, that's not the format this year, but if he puts himself into position in 9 of these races better than other guys, and other guys have issues and problems, that's what we talked about yesterday on the truck episode. If you haven't listened already, 9 races, yeah, it's a big sample size, but what is so Talladega, I believe, is all 3 series go there, right?
Yes,
I think so. So yes, so Talladega is in there, right? Okay, let's say an Allgaier goes out, wrecks in stage 1, no stage points, no finishing position points, like a horrible day, right? Let's say a piano falls on him at another race, because we've seen that happen before. Then he has engine troubles at one more race, and he gets caught up in somebody else's crash in another race. Like, now 4 races all of a sudden that he's missed, essentially, not gotten points. Jesse Love just keeps chipping away and finishing 5th place every week and scoring stage points. It doesn't take much to overcome that type of deficit, because it's not the 3 million point lead that Allgaier has now. It gets shrunk back down at the reset. So other people are definitely alive. I do like Jesse Love here as well, Rod.
Indeed. All right. Well, so we didn't do like the mid-tier driver, low driver, and high driver like we did the trucks, but we've got our drivers.
I just went all long shots pretty much, but and one like absurd long shot, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, Brandon Jones, 22-1. Look, if you listen to the show for a few years, you know how much I love Brandon Jones. It really, truly is a love-hate relationship, because he's got his ups and his downs, but we know that, yes, the JRM cars are very fast. These JGR cars also have a ton of speed. Now, they've got some young, inexperienced guys who are still kind of trying to figure it out, but Brandon Jones is not that guy. Brandon Jones is an experienced guy who is good. And we always talk about there's certain tracks you take him, there's certain tracks you don't really take him. And Indy seemed like one of those tracks you didn't really take him, but he still finished good there. But tracks that you do take him, which are in the chase, is actually quite a few places because he's good at Darlington. That's that worn out surface. That's his type of place, right? You go to Las Vegas, Charlotte. Those are good places that he's really good at. Phoenix, one of his better tracks. Martinsville, one of his better tracks. He's really good at Homestead, Miami as well. There's a ton of really good opportunities for Brandon Jones coming in here. Again, at 22-1, yes. If you're giving me a head-to-head with him and Allgaier at the same price, I'm going to take Allgaier, obviously. But Brandon Jones has the speed in those JGR cars and the experience. You look around the O'Reilly garage, and it's a lot of young guys. Yeah, you got Allgaier at the top, but Love is still young. Even though he's won a championship, he's going to be a Cup guy. Yes, still a young guy. Kvapil, young guy. Caruth, young guy. Swalich, Gray, Cruz, really young guy, right? All these guys are young. Some Mayers and Creeds have been around for a little while, but Brandon Jones has been around for a long time. He's been in this series, knows what he's doing. Always one of those guys that just kind of hangs around, puts himself in position. With the speed he has, I wouldn't be shocked if Brandon Jones goes out and wins 3 of these races in the chase. Suddenly, that's 45 bonus points just for winning. And when he wins, he's generally been pretty good in these races as well. He's had some really, really strong races earlier this season, going back and looking. Second place at Darlington. That's a track we go back to in the fall. Kansas, he had the best car. We don't go back there for the O'Reilly series. We do for the other series, but not O'Reilly. But Las Vegas and Charlotte are very similar tracks. He had a lot of speed at Charlotte, got caught up in a wreck there. Martinsville, though, a track that he's been really good at over the years. Kind of struggled there earlier this year. Bristol had some speed, didn't get a great finish, so get those mixed results in there. But he can put it together. And again, if you're one of these guys and you can just go have 9 races where you finish, if he can go put together 9 top 10 finishes or whatever, 1 or 2 of those are wins, get some stage wins in there, and some other guys have trouble, not going to be crazy for a guy like Brandon Jones to get it done. So his veteran angle, he's comfortable at JGR. He's always had speed there. There's tracks where he can be really good at. Put it together over 9 weeks. That's kind of always been the knock on Brandon Jones, is he can pop up and hit you any given week. The consistency isn't always there, but if he can put it together for 9 races at 22-1, again, in a time when we think it's probably going to be Allgaier, who else could it be that's a little longer and gives us some value? Brandon Jones is the direction I'm looking.
Yeah, and I don't mind this at all, too, just given the fact that, just like TK is saying, ECR is getting beaten out by HMS engines. They've lost their super speedway advantage. And then aside from the JGR, they seem like the fastest car. So, I mean, JGR is definitely trying to keep pace with HMS. But, boy, I tell you, the JRM HMS camp is definitely dominating things, which is where I'm going, because I'm doubling down on you. You have 30-1. Couldn't get there. We could get 14-1 on BetMGM for Corey Day. Corey Day, 5th in the points right now. And, you talk about putting together good stretch run, right? A run in the back end of this that was just good, consistent finishes. And Corey Day, look, this year, the last few races have not really, ever since Nashville, right? He had a 6th place in Nashville a couple months back. And then after that, Pocono, 38th. San Diego, 10th. Sonoma, 7th. That's cool. Those are a couple of road courses, which turned out pretty good for him. But Chicago was 19th. Atlanta, he crashed out, 32nd. Rallied back for 7th place at Indianapolis. I mean, 15 top 10 finishes in 22 starts. So 68% of his races have been top 10 finishes. 6 of those top 5s, 2 wins on the year as well. Talladega, notably being one of those, which is in the final few races in the chase for young Corey Day. But if you look at earlier too, Daytona is obviously one of those that's coming up. That was a bad day for him. He finished in 27th in that particular race. But Darlington is where we start things off. And then Darlington last year for Corey Day was actually pretty good. Let's see, Darlington. I'm clicking around on all that. He wasn't in Darlington last year. He was in Darlington this year. 6th place in Darlington. That's what I was looking for. So 6th place in Darlington, a good solid run there. And then Gateway last year for him was a 9th place finish. So that's a good solid finish for him as well. And then Bristol, obviously we know that he was pretty good at the short tracks as well. So Bristol, an 8th place finish. I mean, there's more of these, right? There's a lot more of these that you could put together. Las Vegas last year was a 4th place finish. This year was an 8th place finish for him in the spring. You get the picture, right? I mean, obviously there's a lot of good things awaiting on the schedule for Corey Day as you start talking and looking at the tracks that are left on the schedule. 5th place at Charlotte. They go back to Charlotte as well. Phoenix for him last year wasn't good. It was 14th, but earlier this year it was a 9th place finish. You talk about putting together nice, solid finishes, nice top 10 finishes. Well, that's what he's got waiting in store for him, right? He's got a series of tracks where he can have a nice, solid finish, especially even at Martinsville, where he finished 2nd earlier in the year, runner-up at Martinsville. That's on the track scheduled during the chase. This is a very friendly schedule for Corey Day as you start to build toward the chase. And he's in 5th place now, which is if the season ended today, right? Obviously, the points being what they are and being reset, 5th place is not that far off. You get a couple of stage wins. You get a couple of good finishes like that 2nd place or 8th place or 6th or 5th or whatever inside of the top 10. Well, now you're starting to build a case. Unless Justin Allgaier completely sweeps the world and takes everything away from everybody for the rest of the season, you could have guys chipping away at this lead, right? And obviously strategy is going to start to play it plays a huge factor now, but just wait till the chase starts and every single point starts to matter even more and more and more. So you're going to want to put together runs like Corey Day can do at these tracks that are remaining on the schedule. And for me, I mean, look, Cody, you called your shot in the beginning of the year when it was 30-1, and now you can really look back on it and say how good of a call that was, because now the path is even more clear than for him to make that run. And unfortunately, like I said, over the last few weeks, we've seen some slippage from it.
Fortunately, because the number's gone back up, because it was down to 7-1 for a while. Now you're back. This is your last chance deal right here, friends. If you haven't got in already, get in. This is your chance to get in on Corey Day. If you give me the field, Rod, and you say pick one driver that can go out and just beat Justin Allgaier in this chase head-to-head, Corey Day's the first driver I'm going to give you. There is so much speed in that 17 car. Rick Hendrick literally restarted the O'Reilly program that they had gotten rid of for Corey Day. What's that? Breaking news. The 48 car is going to be open in 2027 or 2028, rather. We better go impress the boss and win a championship. What a better time to do that than right now. You got tracks like Charlotte and Las Vegas in there where you can just go out on raw speed. The HMS engines that we're just talking about in the chat, he's got that. Darlington, dirt track driver type of place. We end the season at Homestead, Miami. What drivers do we talk about when we go to Homestead, Miami? The dirt trackers who hang their tongue out and lay it all on the line. That's Corey Day is going to have so much success at Homestead, Miami to end the season. If he's within grasp, he's going to go there and have a great day. Last chance to get in. This price is not going to continue to stay here. If you have not bet Corey Day and you're betting one future this weekend, get Corey Day. I'm going to get some more Corey Day. These 30-1s are nice, Rod. I got a paper ticket and a mobile ticket. I'm getting some 14-1 too, because I don't want to miss out when it happens. And he is the type of guy who can just go get it done. So I love this play. Get in while the price is still hanging around.
Indeed. All right. You got a couple more to close out your boxes.
Yeah, wrap it up, Rod, with Sam Mayer at 22-1. This just, to me, 22 apparently my lucky number in this one. This one's over on BetMGM. But this to me is just, look around. Who are guys that can put together good chases, who can put together a good section of races, right? And we've seen these Stewart-Haas cars, now Haas Racing, right? But Stewart-Haas a couple years ago win the championship with Cole Custer behind the wheel. Yeah, he's probably a little bit of a better driver than a Sam Mayer is, but Mayer's a solid driver. He's been around. He continues to show up. And we saw that just rough start to the season where they couldn't get anything to work. But then a third place, a 13th, a third, a 36th, a fourth, an eighth, like rips off some really good runs and has good days. He hasn't got the victory lane this year, but don't forget Sam Mayer's won plenty of races throughout his time. They needed some time to adjust to Chevrolet. Maybe that was part of it, switching over from Ford. Sam Mayer's a good driver. These cars are good. Again, if you're putting them on tiers, going to be below the JRM, the JGRs of the world, but right in there with those RCR cars. Any given week, the Haas cars can show up and be good. I think at 22-1, it's absolutely worth taking a shot at Sam Mayer. And then, Rod, we're going to go back over to BetMGM. I wanted to pull up another book real quick and just see what the odds for this guy are. So
not as good as this one.
If you give me 1 second here, as I pull up the FanDuel odds once again, that for some reason this tab keeps closing out on me.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll vamp a little bit before you too, where BetMGM has been throwing some insane numbers out. And we go back to the Truck Series and listen to some of the differences between the odds we were giving out on BetMGM and some of these other odds. I don't know what they're doing, but boy, you need to go over there now.
Yeah, and again, this is why you shop around, right? We pointed out some from FanDuel earlier that had the better options. This guy's 50-1 over on FanDuel, Rod. And then since you gave me extra time, I looked here on Caesars as well, where he's 60-1. So decent numbers. But if you go over to MGM at 250-1, you can get a junior motorsports car at 250-1. And I don't know what they're doing, but give me some Rajah Caruth at 250-1, Rod. Now, he is not locked into the chase. In fact, he's not even in the chase currently. He currently sits 20 points behind Taylor Gray. He's got to do some work over the next 2 weeks. He, like Kvapil, has been splitting the season, a lot of time spent in the 32 car, much more than Kvapil had to do. But they're giving him an opportunity over these next 2 weeks to be in the 88 car. If he can go out and have a good race at Iowa this next weekend, and then he can get himself in at Daytona, those are going to be key, right? But if he does that, now you're into a 9-race block in the chase with a junior motorsports car, because he's running the 88 car all the way through the playoffs and these last 2 races, at 250-1. Why would you? I don't really care who's driving it. If you want to go drive it, Rod, a junior motorsports car in the chase at that number is insane. Rajah Caruth, has he been the best O'Reilly driver? No. Was he the best Truck Series driver? No. Have we seen some flashes? Yes. Has he hit big tickets for us before? He certainly has, Rod. I remember that Las Vegas truck race where he beat Kyle Busch and cashed an 80-1 for us. But at 250-1 to get in there, you have places like Charlotte and Vegas. He's particularly good at those big tracks. If he can put it together everywhere else, and again, other people have some issues, why couldn't Rajah Caruth go win it? It's a long shot for a reason. So was Todd Gilliland. So was Corey Heim last weekend. So was Daniel Suarez at Charlotte. So was Rajah Caruth at Las Vegas. Sometimes you bet long shots for a reason, and they come through. 250-1 on a junior motorsports car in the chase. Way too big of a number. It's not priced the same as it is everywhere else. That's also another reason to take it. 250-1 for Rajah Caruth on BetMGM. Go get it while you still have a chance.
Well, and I think really what the reason the Rajah Caruth, like you said, hasn't really been given that much respect is obviously his time in the 32 and trying to catch up. But, you know, I just wonder sometimes. I really do. Why and what we would have if Rajah was in the 88 full time and if he was able to run that, would he? I mean, he would be in the chase. I'll give you that much right now. He would definitely be in the chase because if he was in the 88 every week, he'd have the opportunity to run in the better equipment because we've seen him execute in the 88, right? So I just, it gets frustrating to me. I know money speaks. I do, believe me. I know because I don't have any. So that means it speaks more to people that do because they're the ones that make the decisions. But, you know, I just feel like if he was given a fair shake in the 88 all year long, what would we have seen? Much like Kvapil. I know he probably wouldn't be touching Allgaier, but would he be closer? And in the end, it doesn't matter because when it resets, he's still 25 points behind. But
you think of all the races, like I don't have it in front of me how many races he's run in which car, but it's got to be 10 plus races he's been in the 32 car, and they've been having issues, and a lot of times it's not his fault, right? It's just something's wrong with the car, this or that. And TK with some good points here in the chat too, but he learned a lesson earlier this year not to step on it. He made a big mistake. I don't remember which race that was, but he did. He made just an error, and it was like pushing too hard because, I'm in the 88 car, I got to go get it. And to the Kvapil point earlier of spending time in the 32, if he can gut it out the next 2 weeks and get in, that is going to help forge his way. And you know, you look at these guys that really immerse themselves in the sport. Of the up-and-comers, Caruth might be the guy who does the most. He's either on the pit box, in the stands, on the spotter stand, asking questions, you know, in a good way, bothering people just constantly. Why this? Why that? Why'd you choose this? Why are they doing that? Constant, just learner of the game, and one of those people that soaks the game in, which you love to see. If he can, you know, keep his head on straight, just plug away and do his thing. And again, you're probably going to need some help from other people to have issues. Yes, but goes out and wins 2 races. That's not crazy. It's not crazy for the 88 car at JRM to go win 2 races. By the way, do you remember last year? We started the season. Connor Zillich was kind of okay, right? He's fine. And then, he misses a race or 2 races because he falls out of the car. Kyle Larson gets in. All of a sudden, that car's a lot better the rest of the year. Weird. Because you had Cup guys looking at it. All year, there's been Cup guys tweaking on that car, getting it ready for a chase run for Rajah Caruth. 250 to 1, too big of a number. And TK pointing out 10 races, at least according to Google, that he was in the 32 car. So really half the season he's been in the 32 car, and he still managed to get himself on the verge, right? He's not in. This bet could be dead in 2 weeks. It certainly could, especially with Daytona in there. But especially with Daytona in there, this bet could be alive, and he could have a shot.
Yeah, it's definitely worth exploring. I do, like I said, wish I would have seen what we could have gotten out of Caruth, because you're right, that 88 car, not the least of which Chase Elliott was tweaking it a couple of weeks ago as well, last week. So, all right, my last one, Sheldon Creed, 18 to 1 over on Caesars. I know Cody gave him out at 15 to 1 in the preseason as well, doubled down on 14 to 1 at the All-Star break. Well, now he's up to 18 to 1 over on Caesars. And for Sheldon Creed, Sheldon Creed right now is 4th in the points. So we're making a heavy case for Corey Day. But, Sheldon Creed, perennial second place finisher. And I'm just looking right now, even at Homestead, right? The last race of the season to decide, well, maybe not to decide it, but at the very least could factor into this if everything goes well for him. But Sheldon Creed at Miami, the last couple of seasons, 2 5th place finishes, one of those in the 18, one of them in the 00. So, at the very least, he can end the season if he needed to on a pretty high note. And Sheldon Creed already documented to the heaviest second place finisher since Carson Kvapil. Actually, Carson Kvapil's putting on his best Sheldon Creed impersonation, finishing second in all these races. But although, how bad does it feel for Sheldon Creed to see Carson Kvapil break through before he in the number of races that he did before he was able to? But Sheldon Creed, 16 top 10s and 33 starts, 8 top 5s. And then obviously, that was last year. Sorry. Let me look at this year as I click the right tab. 14 top 10 finishes, 8 top 5s, the 1 win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, a 10.8 average finish. Started on the pole at Indy, finished in 8th, 3rd at San Diego, 5th at Pocono, 6th at Texas, 3rd at Talladega. See, now this is where you start to get into what means anything. He had a 6th place finish at Bristol. That's in the chase. A 3rd place at Talladega. That's in the chase. 4th place at Martinsville, 7th place at Darlington, 3rd place at Vegas, 4th place at Phoenix. All these numbers, nice, solid top 5s, if not top 10 numbers, obviously, for Sheldon Creed. You put him anywhere near the leader toward the end of the season, I think he's going to start sniffing it. And you want to talk about Mr. Consistent. And Christopher is right. Creed can take us higher. He can. That guy. I love that song. But yeah, he could take us higher, and he could take us higher into a championship bet. So if you have a 14 to 1, that's cool. If you got a 14 to 1 or 15 to 1, that's cool. But grab the 18 to 1. That one is over there on Caesars, because look, Creed can lurk. And in the chase format, Cody, lurkers turn into champions sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially in the O'Reilly series, as you look at each of these series differently because they are different, but clearly Justin Allgaier has been the best of the best. It's not even close when it comes to the regulars, right? But behind him, it's kind of a wide open field. There's not a clear cut, like, this is the guy, right? Kvapil's second in points now. It's been Love a majority of the season. At times you could say it's been Day or Cruz based on how they're running. It's kind of all over the place, but there's a lot of different guys that over a 9-race period can put it together. And again, you have to put together, there's not going to be a lot of mulligans to give there. One of these guys can put together 9 top 5 finishes and just rip off a streak where they're getting stage points, they're getting a win or two. They could easily take the crown from Justin Allgaier, who looks, more than well on his way to getting it done.
Yeah, and TK also making a good point too. Haas does have HMS engines as well. They should run better than RCR, if not for the bad luck and execution. So,
yeah,
and
there has been a lot of bad luck this year. Like, yes, some of it's been their own doing. Some of the execution has been great, but just a lot of this randomly happens or that randomly happens. But again, if you've hopefully gotten that out of your system through the season, and for 9 races, you can put it together, all the execution and all the mistakes are gone. suddenly it's like, whoa, Creed or Mayer, like, look what they're doing. Well, we knew all along they were capable of it. They just hadn't executed to that level, or they'd had problems or bugs that they've hopefully worked out at this point.
Indeed. All right, get out your pen and paper. Time to go over our updated picks for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Championship. I gave you Jesse Love at plus 850. I tossed in Corey Day at 14-1, and then Sheldon Creed at 18-1 for my 3 updated picks for this championship run. You know, I'm buying time because we're looking at Cody's graphic. I haven't seen it yet. This is the first I've seen of it. Cody gave you Carson
keeping it a surprise for Rod. So like the audience, Rod gets to see it for the first time.
It's true. Every time it's like a Christmas present. I get to open up every single time. And if you're not on YouTube, please get on YouTube, because Cody works very hard on these graphics with his buddy ChatGPT. The AI overlords help him quite a bit, but he does do a good job of these now. So Cody gave you Carson Kvapil 22-1. Brandon Jones, 22-1. Sam Mayer, 22-1. Something if you heard that before. And then Rajah Caruth at 250-1 to win the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Championship. It's going to be a fun, 9-race shootout to the end, but obviously we got 11 races left of the season.
Yeah, O'Reilly Series has delivered this year once again. I mean, it continues to be, all 3 series have been absolutely amazing, but it continues to be good racing each and every week. And yeah, we get a lot of different things. So I love it.
You know what I love though? I love how everybody's quickly adapted to the new format. Like I don't know if I gave everybody enough credit early in the season on being able to change strategy like that to make them viable for this particular chase format. But I mean, obviously we've said it time and time again, there's so many smart people up in the headquarters, down the box, in the garage. Like there's just so many smart people in the sport that they were like, oh, chase format. All right, well, now we've got a strategy and plan for this. We're good. Right. It didn't take anybody some learning time. It was like, oh, no. There were people that are like, all right, I'm ready for this. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. And I think, again, they picked the best system. So shout out to NASCAR for, again, giving the fans what they want, fixing things, making things better, making them more exciting. Jimmy, it's not just the Greek 365, buddy. It's everywhere. If they had any futures except the yearly champion, unfortunately, that's kind of all we're stuck at. I haven't looked through all the Cup stuff just yet, because not all the I looked a couple nights ago, but not all the books had reloaded. That was, right after the race, basically. But when we talk F1 on Thursday, there's all sorts of different markets. There's head-to-heads. There's top 5, like all sorts of different stuff. And for some reason, we're not getting that in NASCAR. And previously, we got a ton either. I mean, it's mostly been like to make the championship for. There were some head-to-heads, yeah, or just the outrights. And right now, it's just the outrights really for all the series, which is a little disappointing. Head-to-heads would be amazing. Well, why are we not offering head-to-heads? Put Mayer and Creed together, or which one's going to head-to-head finish better? Like that's a great matchup. I don't know why we're not getting those types of markets.
You know why, Cody? It's because we're not doing the F1 Gambling Podcast anymore, so they know that they're not going to get hammered on those. If we stop doing the show, they would give.
Luckily, we've hidden the F1 Gambling Podcast inside of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. So
yes, we have.
We will be talking about those markets on Thursday. They don't know it still exists, and you go to that feed and it looks pretty dead these days. But it's still the F1 Gambling Podcast lives on inside of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
Indeed, it does. All right. Well, then that was the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Tomorrow we will come back with the Cup Series and talk about our updated Cup Series Championship odds and go over what we had talked about before for who we picked in the preseason and the All-Star break as well. So this has been a blast. Again, thanks for joining us again. I know it's the off week. I know that there's not a lot of stuff going on. So thanks for hanging out with us and having some fun with us, listening to us just jabber on about some crazy stuff.
It's kind of fun to just, we just get to talk and play out scenarios and have a little fun, relax, loosen up a little bit. Congratulations to all our winners from the in-season bracket challenge. We did that earlier. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen. And I'll be reaching out to everybody who won as well, or you can reach out to me and we'll get that all situated and figured out. So congratulations to all you guys. Appreciate everybody for playing and participating.
Indeed. All right. Well then, Cody, let's send everybody off to start getting on these odds before they get hammered down by the time they get to log on to their favorite book. So remind everyone where they can find you outside of here.
Don't wait on that Caruth one. I don't think it'll be around long. You can follow me, Rod, over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff over there. Ton of football stuff as football season continues to ramp up here. And then follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. Like, subscribe, 5 stars, leave a rating, review, comments on Spotify. We always try to respond to those. Comments on YouTube. Give us your championship pick. Who are you betting, or who do you think is going to win? Toss that in the comments wherever you're listening. We always appreciate that. And we'll keep the conversation going as well over in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. See everybody there as we continue to argue that the Brickyard 400 is a crown jewel, Rod. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Cup Series talk.
What is even a crown jewel? I don't know. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. You can find everything that I am up to over there. There's Big 3 basketball. There's rugby. Plenty of rugby going on.
Look at those crown jewels on this guy's head. King Carson Hosovar. Again, this is why you got to watch the YouTube.
Just don't watch the YouTube for that. But all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter. Keep the conversation going and all that good stuff. And so until then, thank you as always for joining us on our never-ending quest to make NASCAR betting fun again. Let's go racing and let it ride.